Exiled to the stars. The twin moons of Keldor IV cast an ethereal blue light across the hidden settlement of Nova Haven. Commander Maya Chen stood on the observation platform, watching as the colony's night cycle began. 5,000 humans lived and worked below her, their existence unknown to the Galactic Confederation that had exiled them 3 years ago. "Commander, you're needed in operations," came a voice from behind her. Maya turned to find Lieutenant Raj Patel, his normally calm demeanor replaced by barely contained excitement. "What is it, Raj?" "Dr. Wright says he's done it. The quantum resonance drive works." Maya's heart quickened as she followed Raj to the elevator that would take them deep beneath the colony's surface. If Elias Wright had actually succeeded, everything would change for humanity. 3 years ago, the Galactic Confederation, a council of 27 spacefaring species, had voted to expel humanity from their ranks and restrict them to their solar system. The official reason: humans were dangerously unpredictable and evolved too rapidly. The vote had been pushed through by the Zakarians, a technologically advanced species who had always viewed humans with suspicion. The Confederation had given Earth's governments 1 standard month to recall all human ships and citizens. Those who didn't make it back would be considered outlaws, subject to immediate detention or destruction. But not everyone returned. Some, like Maya, and the 4,999 souls under her protection, chose exile over imprisonment. The elevator doors opened to reveal the bustling operations center. Screens displayed the status of Nova Haven's systems, while officers monitored communication channels for any sign that their location had been compromised. In the center of it all stood Dr. Elias Wright, his wild gray hair marking him as the stereotypical genius scientist. "Commander," Elias waved her over. "You need to see this." He led Maya to a sealed laboratory where a small device sat on a testing platform. It resembled a metallic sphere with intricate patterns etched into its surface. "This doesn't look like a quantum drive," Maya observed. "That's because it's not just a drive," Elias replied with a grin. "It's a resonance manipulator. It doesn't just move a ship through space. It shifts the ship slightly out of phase with normal spacetime." "Out of phase?" Maya raised an eyebrow. "You mean like stealth technology?" "Better. Zakarian sensors work by detecting mass shadows in subspace. This device creates a quantum bubble that masks those shadows completely. We could park a battle cruiser right outside their homeworld, and they wouldn't see it." Maya stared at the device, understanding its implications. The Zakarians had maintained their dominance in the Confederation through superior sensor technology. No one could hide from them, until now. "How soon can we implement this?" "We've already installed a prototype on the scout ship Raven. We can test it tomorrow." A communications officer interrupted them. "Commander, we've intercepted something you should hear." Maya followed the officer to her station, where she played back a recorded transmission. The language was Zakarian, but their translation software quickly converted it. "Project Purification is proceeding as scheduled. The genetic marker has been isolated. Testing will begin in the Keldor sector within 15 cycles. The Confederation remains unaware of our initiative." Maya's blood ran cold. The Keldor sector, where Nova Haven was hidden. "They're developing a bioweapon," Elias whispered, having followed her. "And they're testing it near us." "Get me everything we have on Zakarian bioweapons," Maya ordered, "and prepare the Raven for immediate launch. We need to know exactly what they're planning." 3 days later, Maya sat in a dimly lit tavern on Traxxas Station, a neutral trading post at the edge of Confederation space. Her features had been altered with synthetic skin to appear as a Vexari merchant, one of the few species who still quietly traded with human outlaws. The Vexari sitting across from her was named Tekril, a data broker with connections throughout the Confederation. His golden eyes studied her with interest. "Your disguise is excellent," he said quietly, "but unnecessary with me. I recognize your biometric pattern immediately." Maya tensed, ready to signal her hidden backup team. "Relax, Commander Chen. If I wanted to report you, I wouldn't have agreed to this meeting. He slid a data crystal across the table. This contains everything I could find about Project Purification. It's worse than you think. Maya pocketed the crystal. Why are you helping us? The penalty for aiding humans is severe. Tekral's expression darkened. Because the Zakarians aren't just targeting humans anymore. They're using your expulsion as a template for other species they deem problematic. My people are third on their list. The Vexari, but you're founding members of the Confederation, which makes us an obstacle to complete Zakarian control. Tekral leaned forward. There's growing dissent within the Confederation. Many species now question the decision to expel humanity, especially as the Zakarians grow more authoritarian. Maya considered this new information. Are there others who would be willing to work with us? More than you might think. The Novan Collective, the Drell Hegemony, even elements within the Procyon Union. Hope sparked within Maya for the first time in years. Perhaps humanity wasn't as alone as they'd thought. Their conversation was interrupted as the station's alert system activated. A mechanical voice announced, "Attention all visitors. Confederation inspection team boarding. All travelers must present identification for verification." Tekral's eyes widened. Zakarian security forces. They rarely come to Traxxas. He handed her another data crystal. Frequency codes for secure communication. Find your people and disappear. I'll delay them. Maya activated her subdermal communicator. Raven, prep for immediate departure. Implement Phase Protocol Alpha. Back on her ship, Maya watched as Traxxas station grew smaller on the view screen. The Raven had departed just moments before Zakarian security forces locked down all outgoing vessels. Their new quantum resonance drive had allowed them to slip away undetected. Lieutenant Kai Wong, her pilot, turned from his console. "Did you get what we needed, Commander?" Maya inserted Tekral's data crystal into the ship's reader. Information flooded the main screen, detailed plans, research data, and Confederation security protocols. More than we expected, Kai. She studied the plans with growing alarm. Project Purification isn't just a bioweapon. It's a systematic elimination program. The Zakarians convinced the Confederation that humanity was dangerous because we adapt too quickly. Now they're using that same argument against other species, starting with those most likely to sympathize with humans, added Dr. Linnea Sato, their chief science officer, as she reviewed the biological data. This is genetic targeting on an unprecedented scale. Maya's mind raced as she formulated a plan. The Zakarians have made a critical mistake. They'd been so focused on keeping us isolated that they never considered we might have continued advancing our technology. She pulled up a star map, marking key locations mentioned in the intelligence data. We need to contact these resistance movements, form alliances, show them what we've developed in exile. You think they'll work with outlaws? Kai asked skeptically. They will when they see what we've created, Maya replied, thinking of the quantum resonance drive and the other innovations born from necessity, and when they understand that they're next on the Zakarians' list. Back at Nova Haven, Maya presented her findings to the colony's leadership council. The meeting room fell silent as the implications sank in. The Zakarians used us as a test case, Maya explained. Expel one species, study the reaction of the Confederation, then move on to the next target. They're consolidating power, eliminating any species they can't easily control. But why target us first? Asked Counselor Jackson, representing the civilian population. Dr. Wright answered, because we adapt faster than any species they've encountered. In just 50 years of space travel, humans developed technologies that took other species centuries. We're unpredictable, innovative, everything the Zakarians fear. And now, Maya continued, we have a chance to turn that fear against them. While they thought we were struggling to survive, we were actually advancing beyond anything they could imagine. She activated a holographic display showing the prototypes and innovations created in Nova Haven's labs. The quantum resonance drive, adaptive shield technology, and neural interface systems far beyond Confederation standards. We've made contact with resistance movements across 7 systems. They're willing to meet. It's risky, warned Security Chief Elena Volkov. If the Zakarians discover these meetings, they'll crush all resistance and hunt down every last human. Which is why we'll use our new technology to host the meeting right under their noses, Maya replied with a smile. On Centauri Prime itself, during their annual security conference, the Council erupted in disbelief, but Maya raised a hand to silence them. The Zakarians believe their security is impenetrable, but they've never encountered our phase shift technology. We'll use their overconfidence against them. After hours of debate, the Council approved her plan. Maya would lead a small team to Centauri Prime, make contact with the resistance leaders, and present evidence of the Zakarians' true plans for the Confederation. As the meeting adjourned, Dr. Wright pulled Maya aside. There's something else you should know. We've been analyzing the bioweapon data. And the Zakarians made a fundamental error in their research. Human DNA has unique properties they didn't account for. Not only are we naturally resistant to their weapon, but we might be able to develop a countermeasure that protects other species as well. Maya's eyes widened as she realized the implications. You're saying we could not only expose their plan but render their weapon useless? Elias nodded, a spark of excitement in his eyes. Exactly. The very adaptability they feared might be what saves the Confederation. As they finalized preparations for the mission, Maya received an urgent communication from Tekril. The message was brief but chilling. Zakarian fleet mobilizing. Project Purification accelerated. First deployment. Kelder sector. Estimated arrival. 3 days. Maya stared at the message, her resolve hardening. The Zakarians were coming for Nova Haven. But this time, humanity wouldn't be caught unprepared. This time, they would fight back with innovations born from their exile. And the galaxy would learn that banishing humanity had only made them stronger. The unexpected alliance. The spires of Centauri Prime glittered in the light of its 3 suns, a monument to the power and achievement of the Galactic Confederation. Maya Chen adjusted the hood of her Procyon diplomat disguise as she gazed through the viewport of the cloaked shuttle Raven. No one on the planet below knew they were there, hovering in plain sight above the capital city. Final systems check, she ordered. Lieutenant Wong ran through the diagnostics of their quantum resonance drive. Phase stability at 98%. We're completely invisible to their sensors, Commander. Maya nodded. Begin descent. Take us to the coordinates Tekril provided. The Raven glided silently through Centauri Prime's defensive grid, passing within meters of automated weapon platforms that showed no reaction to their presence. The shuttle landed in an abandoned industrial sector, its engines powering down without a sound. Remember, Maya addressed her team as they prepared to disembark. We maintain phase shift until we're inside the meeting location. Our allies are taking an enormous risk being here. They moved through the city like ghosts, their phase shift personal devices rendering them invisible to both technological and biological detection. Tekril had chosen their meeting location well, an ancient Procyon temple that blocked external scans due to its crystalline structure. Inside, representatives from 7 species waited nervously. Maya recognized members of the Vexari, the Novan Collective, and the Drell hegemony. There were also representatives from species she hadn't expected. Meridian, Procyon, even a single Corvish. You actually came, Tekril said as Maya deactivated her phase shift. I wasn't entirely sure you'd risk it. Maya removed her disguise, revealing her human features. Several of the aliens gasped. You called. We answered. She nodded to her team, who revealed themselves as well. And we brought evidence you all need to see. For the next hour, Maya presented everything they had discovered about Project Purification, the Zakarian bioweapons, the systematic plan to eliminate problematic species, and the manipulation that had led to humanity's expulsion. The vote to banish humans was orchestrated through blackmail and deception, she explained, displaying intercepted communications. The Zakarians fabricated evidence, threatened representatives, and concealed their true agenda. The Corvesh representative, Drenval, spoke up. "This is disturbing, but what can we do? The Zakarians control the Confederation security forces. Any open resistance would be crushed." Maya smiled. "That's where we come in. While in exile, humanity hasn't been idle." Dr. Linnea Sato stepped forward, activating a holographic display of their technological innovations. "This is our quantum resonance drive," she explained. "It doesn't just mask our presence, it shifts us partially out of phase with normal spacetime. Zakarian sensors can't detect what exists on a different quantum frequency." The alien representatives murmured in amazement. "Impossible," said the Meridian scientist. "Phase shift technology has been theoretical for centuries. No species has successfully stabilized the quantum field." "Necessity drives innovation," Maya replied. "When you're outlawed, you either evolve or die. We chose to evolve." Lieutenant Raj demonstrated their adaptive shield technology, capable of analyzing and matching the frequency of any weapon system, effectively neutralizing it. Security Chief Volkov showed their neural interface systems that allowed instantaneous tactical coordination. And most importantly, Maya concluded, "We've developed a countermeasure to the Zakarian bioweapon." Dr. Sato displayed the molecular structure of their vaccine. Human DNA contains unique sequences that naturally resist the Zakarian pathogen. We've isolated these sequences and created a universal vaccine that should protect all sentient species. The meeting room fell silent as the implications sank in. "You're offering to share these technologies?" asked the Drell representative finally. "We're offering an alliance," Maya corrected. "Humanity wants to rejoin galactic society, but not under Zakarian control. We propose a new coalition, one based on mutual respect and cooperation." Tekril leaned forward. "And if the Zakarians resist? Then we demonstrate that banishing humanity was their greatest mistake." Maya's voice hardened. "We have ships positioned near every major Zakarian installation, invisible to their sensors. We don't want war, but we're prepared for one if necessary." The discussion continued for hours as they formulated a plan. The alien representatives would gather evidence from their own governments, confirming Zakarian manipulation. Meanwhile, humanity would provide technological assistance to protect them from retaliation. As the meeting concluded, alarm sirens began to wail throughout the city. Wong checked his scanner. "Zakarian security forces are conducting a sweep of this sector. They must have detected something." "Time to leave," Maya ordered. "Everyone, activate your phase shift devices." But as they prepared to depart, a deafening explosion rocked the temple. The crystalline walls shuddered, and a section collapsed, revealing armored Zakarian troops pouring in. "They found us," Tekril shouted. "Impossible," Sedo responded, checking her equipment. "Our phase shift technology is functioning perfectly." Maya noticed one of the Meridian representatives backing away, a small transmitter in his hand. "We've been betrayed." Security Chief Volkov drew her weapon. "Get to the shuttle. We'll hold them off." "No," Maya countered. "We stick to the plan. Everyone to the Raven." As Zakarian troops advanced, Maya activated her neural interface, connecting with her team. Through the shared consciousness, they coordinated their movements perfectly, each person knowing exactly what the others would do without a word being spoken. They fought their way through the Zakarian forces with an efficiency that astounded their alien allies. The adaptive shields absorbed energy blasts, while their phase shift devices allowed them to appear and disappear at will, confusing the enemy. "This is how humans fight," Tekril murmured in awe as they reached the shuttle. The Raven lifted off, its quantum drive engaging just as Zakarian cruisers appeared overhead. They slipped between the massive warships undetected, ascending into orbit. "We need to warn Nova Haven," Maya said, her mind already calculating their next move. "The betrayal means the Zakarians might know about the colony." "Commander," Wong called from the pilot's seat, "I'm picking up massive fleet movements. A Zakarian battle group is already heading toward the Kelder sector. Maya's heart sank. The colony didn't have the defenses to repel a full battle group. How long until they reach Nova Haven? At maximum speed, 14 hours, she turned to their alien allies. This changes things. We need to implement the contingency plan now. Which is? Asked Drenval. We expose the Zakarians to the entire Confederation immediately. Maya activated the ship's communication system. Raj, prepare the data package. Include everything. The bioweapon plans, the blackmail evidence, the falsified reports used against humanity. That won't be enough, Tekril warned. The Zakarians control the communication networks. They'll block any transmission. Not this one, Maya replied with determination. She turned to Sato. Is the prototype ready? Sato nodded. Untested, but theoretically functional. Maya addressed their confused allies. Before we left Nova Haven, we developed a quantum entanglement broadcaster. It uses the same principles as our phase shift technology, but applied to communications. Once activated, it will transmit our evidence simultaneously to every Confederation world, bypassing all security protocols and jamming measures. The stakes couldn't be higher. If it worked, the entire Confederation would learn the truth about Zakarian manipulation. If it failed, Nova Haven would be destroyed, and the alien representatives with them would be branded as traitors. Do it, Maya ordered. Sato activated the device. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, confirmation signals began appearing on their screens, each representing a successful transmission to a Confederation world. It's working, Wong reported. The data is getting through. On the main screen, they watched as Confederation news networks suddenly interrupted their broadcasts. The evidence they had collected, the secret recordings of Zakarian leaders, the bioweapon plans, the blackmail operations, was playing across the galaxy. But the Zakarian battle group was still heading toward Nova Haven. They won't stop, Maya realized. Even exposed, they'll try to eliminate us to maintain control. Tekril stepped forward. Not if they're opposed by the rest of the Confederation. He activated his own communication device. This is Ambassador Tekril of the Vexari Directorate. I am invoking Emergency Protocol 7 of the Confederation Charter. The other alien representatives exchanged shocked glances. Protocol 7 hasn't been invoked in 3 centuries, Drenval murmured. What is it? Maya asked. A call for all Confederation forces to oppose a member species that threatens galactic peace, Tekril explained. It requires a unanimous vote of at least 5 founding species representatives. One by one, the alien representatives made their declarations, supporting Protocol 7. Within moments, Confederation defense fleets across the galaxy were mobilizing, not against humanity, but against the Zakarians. We need to get to Nova Haven, Maya insisted. Even with Confederation support, the Zakarians will reach the colony first. The Raven jumped to maximum speed, pushing its engines beyond designed limits. They arrived at Nova Haven just as the Zakarian battle group emerged from hyperspace. Maya expected to find a defenseless colony against overwhelming odds. Instead, she was greeted by an astonishing sight. Nova Haven's defense grid was fully activated, but it wasn't alone. Ships from a dozen species had arrived ahead of them. Vexari cruisers, Novan battleships, even Procyon carriers. They had formed a defensive line between the approaching Zakarians and the human colony. How is this possible? Maya whispered. It seems we weren't the only ones making contingency plans, Tekril said with a smile. When we suspected betrayal might be possible, we arranged for reinforcements. The lead Zakarian warship transmitted a message. This is High Commander Vector of the Zakarian Defense Force. You are protecting illegal human settlements. Disperse immediately or be destroyed. Before Maya could respond, a Confederation peacekeeping vessel dropped out of hyperspace, massive, gleaming, and unmistakable. This is Grand Marshal Soren of the Confederation Unified Command, came the response. By unanimous vote of the Confederation Council, The Zakarian forces are ordered to stand down. Protocol 7 has been invoked. For a tense moment, it seemed the Zakarians might attack anyway. Then, one by one, their ships powered down their weapon systems. 3 months later, Maya stood in the great chamber of the Confederation Council on Centauri Prime. Unlike her last visit, she was there openly, without disguise or phase shift technology. Behind her stood representatives from every human colony, both those who had returned to Earth and those who had chosen exile. The newly elected Confederation Premier, a Novan named Sel Mera, addressed the assembly. Today marks a historic occasion. 3 years ago, this council made a grave error when it voted to expel humanity from our ranks. That decision, we now know, was based on manipulation and false evidence. Maya listened as the Premier detailed the Zakarian conspiracy and the subsequent reforms to prevent such abuses in the future. Humanity's response to their unjust exile demonstrates exactly why they belong among us. Sel Mera continued. Rather than seeking revenge, they developed technologies that will benefit all Confederation species. Rather than attacking their accusers, they sought alliance and understanding. The Premier turned to face Maya directly. Commander Maya Chen, on behalf of the Galactic Confederation, I formally invite humanity to rejoin our community, not as junior members, but as full partners with all rights and privileges thereof. Maya stepped forward to the podium, feeling the weight of the moment. Premier Sel Mera, honored representatives, she began. Humanity accepts your invitation, but we do so with a request. A murmur ran through the assembled delegates. The events of the past 3 years have taught us all an important lesson. Diversity of thought and approach is not a weakness to be feared, but a strength to be embraced. Humanity's rapid adaptation and innovation seemed threatening to some, but those same qualities helped save the Confederation from manipulation and control. She looked around the chamber, meeting the eyes of representatives from dozens of species. We request that the Confederation establish a new principle in its charter. That difference is to be protected, not persecuted. That innovation is to be encouraged, not restricted. And that no species should ever again face expulsion for being who and what they are. Sel Mera considered her words, then nodded slowly. A wise proposal, Commander Chen. I believe the Council will support such an addition. As the vote was taken, unanimously in favor, Maya thought about the long journey that had brought them to this moment. Exiled and outlawed, humanity had not only survived but thrived. They had turned adversity into advantage, isolation into innovation. The Zakarians had believed that banishing humanity would weaken them, remove a threat to their power. Instead, it had forced humans to develop technologies and form alliances that ultimately revealed the Zakarians' own conspiracy. As the ceremony concluded, Tekril approached Maya. Congratulations, Commander, or should I say, Ambassador Chen. Maya smiled at her Vexari friend. That title will take some getting used to. You earned it, Tekril replied. Your people showed remarkable resilience. When banished from the stars, you returned more powerful than ever. We had help, Maya acknowledged, and we won't forget it. As they looked out over the Centauri capital, ships from dozens of species moved through the sky, including human vessels now flying openly alongside their Confederation allies. What happens now? Tekril asked. Now, Maya said, we build something better. Together. The quantum resonance drive that had once hidden humanity from its persecutors would now power a new generation of exploration vessels. The neural interface systems developed for combat would revolutionize medical treatment across the Confederation, and the adaptive shields created for protection would help colonize worlds previously thought uninhabitable. What had begun as technologies of survival had become tools of prosperity. Maya gazed up at the stars, no longer places of exile, but of promise. Humanity had been outlawed by the galaxy, but they had returned stronger than ever before, not just to reclaim their place, but to help forge a better future for all species. The galaxy would never be the same again.